Hey there, guys. It's Celine. Today's Monday, the 14th. Yes, Valentine's Day, of February 2022. And I finally decided, sort of, that I'd like to come out again. I haven't been on my channel for quite a while. That is, I've been, you know, looking at my numbers a bit, but not more than that. No more than that. Um, it's been a really difficult transition period, I suppose, is what it is. So at this point, what I'd like to do is I'm doing a bit more detoxing, which is always a good idea. I want to also share where I am in my Tummo practice and things that are helping and so on and so forth. In general, I must say the atmosphere seems to be lightening quite a bit and I can feel it. So I don't know what it's like for you, but for me, certainly, as I say this, the sun comes out. There will be, bits of, depending on how long I stay here doing this, there will be bits of sun and probably clouds as well because it's been very windy and it's supposed to be windy all the rest of the week with showers and that kind of stuff. So I just went for a walk. I have to really make sure I actually go and get my exercise. And sometimes I just can't manage, and it just gets difficult. Hence the detoxing. So the detoxing procedure that I'm using at the moment again is I drink lots of hot water anyway, at least 2 of these every day and sometimes more on a regular basis, that is all the time really. But at this moment I've made myself another decoction of berries and I find that extraordinary for my lymphatic system, and it just makes me feel like stuff gets cleaned out, you know, out of my body way better than without that. So it's basically raspberries and cranberries that I mix up and boil up together for just a couple of minutes and then strain, and you drink the resulting sort of a syrup kind of a thing, without sugar preferably, because I think the sugar would actually take away some of the benefit in this case. You want the vibrational, effect of the berries to go into to go unlimited, to have access to your whole lymphatic system properly. So that seems to work really well for me. I've done this actually nearly every springtime for the past, this is the third year I'm using this. It's I like it myself. I like the taste and it just appeals to me. So it means to me that my body is actually in need of the berries and the cranberries and so on. So yeah. There were actually also some blueberries in this mix because I bought the frozen raspberry blueberry mix in a box that they sell at my supermarket, as well as a bag of dried cranberries, which I mixed in this time because I couldn't get any fresh. And that's fine. It works just fine. But you have to combine the fruit syrup with the hot water. So within the same half hour. So I'll probably finish the rest of my decoction either tonight or tomorrow, or share it with what's left with my husband as well, or maybe make some more tomorrow night for him to have a share of, like that. But it really is the combination of the different approaches that works best for the detoxing result. So I seem to be needing this at the moment. I can tell also that I just don't really have any energy left. Like lots of people that I meet in the street or that I see anywhere in town or whatever, the exhaustion isn't passing like right away or within a few days or weeks, even though I do feel that a lot of, our surroundings are improving. There's little signs of springtime all over. Actually, really early. It hasn't really been wintry at all over here. No snow or any such, any really cold periods. Only just an occasional frost in the night or something like that, but not cold at all. So then you get really early springtimes. I notice now that it's really hard talking even. So I don't know whether this is going to be any good to, proceed making endless long videos. At this moment, I don't think I can actually do that. So that doesn't mean that anything bad is going on for me. The thing is, I have been involved in the next stage of my Tummo practice, and that means getting the actual activated levels of Tummo energy that I have access to at this time from my heart and up here, area into my throat and into my actual brain, and hence the need for the detoxing extra action. Okay. Because it's actually tougher on my body, I think, than I myself realize. I don't know. If you don't know what Tummo is, it is a Kundalini yoga practice, a Shakti energy practice. It's the same thing that I've been working on for 2 years now, a little over 2 years, I think. And it is really beneficial, and it is imperative that you do your detoxing and that you see to hydration and exercise and fresh air and all those things as well at the same time, because this does not mess with you. It just goes right in there and sees to sort of, my conclusion so far is that it really rebuilds your whole system, your whole, your body, your emotional and neurological responses, your metabolism in terms of what's in your blood, everything, your hormones, everything is affected by this practice. So it's a lot of work, yeah. And a lot of the work happens behind the scenes, really, that you can't really tell, except until afterwards, of course, whether what's happening or what it feels like even. You have to trust it. And I do trust my process so far. I think that for me, it's really simple. I would always say that the way it feels, it just in general feels good so much of the time that I am quite willing to face whatever challenges come with the process as well. Most of the time, the whole of the Tummo energy is my friend. So, but in this particular case, I find that it has been like way easier and more, the skull and the head is the toughest part to actually access for the energy. There are ways and pathways and channels that you can use, but it is it's a lot of work to get it into. It's easier to pass out of the crown chakra into the spaces beyond, so to speak, or to, for me, communicate with energy fields inside the earth that I've talked about a lot of times. All that is easier than this part. This is actually, I'm realizing now that I'm saying this, the part of the Tummo process that has been the most work so far, the most requiring an actual effort on my behalf. And now that that effort has been made, the good news is that the path has been cleared for the Shakti energy, for the Tummo energy. Tummo energy is basically Shakti energy that has gone through a series of transformation processes inside your body. So I've talked about this a number of times. I'm just sort of saying it again for people who are new here. I also do not teach Tummo as it is at this point. I'm still waiting for this part of the process to be really to sort of become clear and sort of that there is no further doubt for me as to what kinds of challenges you will face. I want to first have the whole of the experience myself in this whole Tummo story here. Yes, I'm using a crystal, a very pretty blue opal crystal that helps my whole throat area. This is very soothing, and it creates a lot of space in my also mentally. It gives me a sense of stability and openness. So hence the waving around of the blue stone here. But it's crucial to me that I know before I start sharing more of the actual learning of the process and sharing with you guys how you could actually learn this yourself without being a Buddhist, without what the requirements are. I want to know it all myself properly and to have studied all the angles of all the processes and all the parts of things, and to be able to tell what's happening, before I start ever thinking of teaching any of this stuff. Because the detoxing is actually the least of your problems. There's other changes in vibration that happen in all sorts of parts of us when we do this, and it can be very challenging and very scary at times, where I notice, for example, nowadays, at the moment, it really seems to be part of the whole deal at the moment, is that I see fewer and fewer people. I shouldn't say less, I should say fewer. At the moment, it seems like everybody is disappearing from my life one after the other, apart from my husband, that is, who is still very much with me. And the relationships I do have with people seem to be either they turn towards the more friendly, more honest, open, genuine kind, or they just break off. And I think this is happening not only as a result of my Tummo experiences, but just in general also. I also feel, by the way, which is something I haven't said, I think, before, that I have the if you like, astrological challenges and difficulties that we've been facing humanity-wise, over the whole of the past 2 years, that I think even have led to the pandemic, yes, to some extent, and to the ways people deal with those kinds of situations, or how difficult it is for people to deal with those types of situations and so on. Those energies, in my case, they have actually helped me but I have had to choose myself, okay? To choose to apply myself to my Tummo again and again and again. 12 times over the past 2 years. And it has been tough. There are times where it just seems like it just takes time. All you can say really is that it just takes a couple more weeks for the energies to do their work properly. I think at this time that I have gotten to a level of activation in my Tummo that inside my body, this is the level there is. It's the highest level of activation that I will have in my body, which doesn't mean anything because there's always other things. There's always other dimensions. There's always other realms that you can access. And I don't think there's a limit. The self or the these energies are immense, really, that we are part of, that I try to get to know in this way. So, but at this moment, there's a sort of a conjunction, if you like, a combination, a sort of a syncretism, if you like, or what would be a good word? An amalgamation, an alchemy of the energies that I can access, where it makes the Tummo itself really intense and really, really powerful. And it's a lot of work actually redirecting it. And you can, for example, make the Tummo energy from your aura go into your third eye like that. That affects the eyes. And my eyesight has always been really bad. And I can sort of tell that things are changing in there very slowly. And there's like old layers of cells that have to be reactivated again by this energy, is the plan. I don't really know what this is going to do exactly. Or maybe it will just, I suppose it will benefit my eyesight eventually. And it doesn't hurt at all. It's mostly rather pleasant to be doing if you take it one step at a time. Okay, you cannot do this level first. You have to start at the beginning, which is normal for any type of yoga or, a deep personal practice like this. So I think the result of all this is that I'm quite tired, and we are looking forward very much, my husband and I, to going away for a weekend. We'll be going up north to a part of the country we've never visited before, either of us. It's going to be a lot of fun. I've actually spent part of the morning researching some more parts of the town where it turns out I have a book in my bookcase right here that shows, what's that called? Like ley lines and places of power and that kind of stuff in the Netherlands, especially in the northern half of the country. And so I suddenly thought, oh, I have to go see what he has to say about this town that we're going to. And it's it's Friesland. It's the part, the sort of one of the northernmost provinces of the country. And my husband's family on his dad's side is from there originally. But neither my husband nor me have ever been there. So it looks to be quite cool, and lots of nice old buildings and little canals, and it looks really pretty. And maybe I can film there. I can do a little vlog over there, if just to show you, just to have an idea what it looks like where I am. There's also some historical connections. There's this one particular place of power that I intend to very firmly to visit, which is like an old what used to be a church building. There's only the tower of the church is left by now, and maybe I can film there. That would be cool, I think. I can actually feel like I can tell the nature of the vibration of that place through Street View. If I just look at that, it just goes right in here, and it just makes me feel like, okay, so I have to go there, bring my husband, and sit us on top of that location right there and sit there for an hour, and just drink it in and just have that contribute to, whatever needs to happen at that time vibrationally. I have no idea, but it feels really good and different. It's different. It's a different vibe from what it is around here. It's quite funny. So looking forward to that, and to having lots of nice cups of tea and coffee with husband. And it's just 2 nights in a hotel really, and a train ticket. And it turns out that we can actually afford that at the moment. So that's awesome. And we can't wait. So we had all sorts of other holiday plans and ideas in our minds, like going to the south of Spain, which is probably still going to happen at some point. But booking actual tickets wasn't as easy, or actually a ticket with a hotel in it wasn't as easy as it seemed to be a couple of weeks ago. And now it seems like everything has gone offline for some reason, so it's kind of weird. And in the end, we decided to find something closer to home that was actually easy to realize, to actually go and do now. And take it one step at a time. That's very much my motto at the moment. What with the post-pandemic blues, I suppose is what it is. We've been, all of us, we have been so blue for these whole 2 years. There have been such roller coasters of emotion, on and on and on, for all of us, in whichever way that this actually took shape for each person individually. You know, we have been isolated from each other. We have been forced to think about things that we don't normally think about. We have been, it's been weird. And now that I feel myself, certainly that the whole, actually, yes, I would dare to say that the pandemic is over. Whether it's actually really over for everybody individually, that depends. But in general, the state of affairs, the state of things is very much changing for the better. And we will have to see what we have learned, won't we? As humanity, as all of us together. And I'm actually quite optimistic about all that. And I, am enjoying every ray of sunshine that I can get. And like I said, take it one step at a time. Look after yourself properly. Make sure you keep yourself together. And don't expect yourself to be, I'm telling myself this as well, don't expect yourself to be happy now, right away, because restrictions are lifted or because you should feel okay. Because maybe you just won't feel okay completely yet for a bit longer. Just because it's been a lot. It's been a lot to process, and give yourself 3 more months would be my idea. I will try to give myself 3 more months from now on, okay? What with all the things. And try to enjoy yourself. Try to be in nature. Listen to the birds sing, whatever works for you. Try to pay attention to how you feel from one day to the next also. So I'm going to sign off. This is actually a relatively decent length video that I thought I might make. At least you have seen my face to the extent you can actually see anything like this. I think I'll be back to the computer for a bit more to, have another go at a couple of other subjects that I was working on. Or maybe I will just return to my knitting for a bit longer. We'll see. Thank you so much for watching. And if you're new here, very welcome to my weirdness. This is what happens most of the time. I eventually decide that I have to come out with something or other. And normally I am more cheerful than this, I think. I don't feel like I look cheerful at the moment, which I really should be, of course, because duh. But nah. It's been like that. What can you say? Post-pandemic blues. Anyway, thank you for watching and see you next time. Okay, bye for now.